We're hearing Cuphead in the background.
Luigi was right there in chat cheering him on.
Yo! Thanks, Multi Luigi. Dude, you're really cool. Thanks for stopping in the chat and just like supporting this. You're awesome, man.
Soulreth's time save mainly came from being more aggressive, not backing away quite as much as Luigi. Over the next few days, Luigi came back and beat the world record twice. First a 34:18 and then a 33:52. The second of these runs was notable because he skipped both running guns at the start. This meant that he only had the coins to purchase spread and nothing else. He essentially traded out the ability to use charge for a 2-minute time save at the start of the run.
Yeah, that's
Luigi
crazy.
had to get right up close with the bosses. No more standing back with charge. After this was a formerly lost world record. The Twitch VOD was deleted and it wasn't
I didn't know
included in
all the other
but it was
bosses.
rediscovered during the making of this video. It was a 33:39 set by TMR. TMR is a speedrunning legend. He was a former world record holder in big classic NES games like Contra and Battletoads. But when Cuphead was released in 2017, he came back with the second act. He was one of the best early Cuphead speedrunners, repeatedly setting the world record. And after 1.1 came out, he decided to give it a try. Probably the biggest change TMR made was going 3-4-8 on King Dice rather than 2-4-8. Space 2 was Chip's betting game, and it's easy to miss shots here like Luigi did. Instead, Space 3 is Mr. Weezy. He's just out of range to hit with spread at the start, so TMR had to land a steady stream of the P-shooter. But in the next phase, he's super close, so TMR pelted him with spread.
Damn,
He even
that's terrible.
intentionally took damage to get iframes, allowing him to walk through and behind the boss's hitbox to safely fire more spread. Not even a day later, another record was set by a player named K-Prime. Much like TMR, K-Prime was a pre-patch record holder who decided to try running the game on 1.1. The bulk of his improvement over TMR came on one boss, Grim Matchstick.
That was so
This
fast.
fight has randomly generating clouds that you have to jump on while damaging the boss. To make things a little more consistent, K-Prime intentionally took damage at the end of phases 2 and 3. This allowed him to enter the dragon's hitbox and repeatedly EX attack to finish him off, saving 13 seconds. The next record came on Christmas Eve 2017. It was Luigi striking once more, with a 32:55. And this run shows the true difference between Luigi and runners like TMR or K-Prime.
Okay.
For the latter,
We got
their
this.
true passion and interest is with Legacy, where you can perform crazy glitches and obliterate certain fights. They just played on 1.1 to try it out before moving back to Legacy. But Luigi genuinely preferred 1.1 over Legacy. He liked not being able to cheese any of the fights, having to play them all straight up. This is why Luigi was able to reclaim the 1.1 record time and time again. It was his true
Why
passion,
is this
not just a side
casual,
project.
like
Even a
actual
month since
race?
the patch came out, runners had taken the record down
This
to
is like-
32 minutes. There was
I don't
frantic
get it.
activity, with nearly every high-level runner
This is
playing.
like top
But
50%
finally,
of
with this
casual, but not
32:55
even
by
top
Luigi,
40%.
things settled down a bit. And entering the first couple months of 2018, the record stayed put. By February 2018, the world record was still 32:55 by Luigi. Most runners had lost interest in 1.1 and had gone back to playing the more popular category, Legacy. But one runner hadn't made his grand appearance yet. He'd been lurking in the background,
What is
watching when the
this?
patch was released in December. He found it
This is so
fascinating to
annoying.
watch players route the game without any glitches, and he wanted to join in. Only
He's
problem,
not.
he didn't have a Twitch account,
I wanna
a
see
Discord
what
account, or
rating
anything he could use to collaborate with other runners. He was too shy.
What? He's
After
actually
the
crazy. He's
32:55
like
in late
pretty bad
December,
at
the
rank.
category seemed to be quiet, but in reality, he was playing offline without telling anybody. And eventually, he found himself good enough to be challenging the world record.
Why is he so
Now,
good?
he had to decide what to do. Should he reveal himself to the community, or stay in the background while others competed? Well, that came further into question on February 6th, 2018, because he set a new world record of 32:51. He was only doing this for his own personal enjoyment. But since this was a world record, he knew what he had to do now. He made accounts on speedrun.com, Twitch, and Discord, and SBD Wolf showed the community what he had done. Over the next few weeks, SBD Wolf and Luigi traded the world record back and forth. It was extremely impressive that this newcomer had shown up out of nowhere and was now able to challenge the category's best runner. Heck, he did more than just challenge Luigi. He was beating him time and time again. Luigi would set a new record, but within days, SBD Wolf always took it back. Eventually, he took the record down to a 31:52. How was SBD Wolf doing this? Well, as it turned out, he was actually using a technique across
Okay, maybe I can win
gave
this,
him
but
an
that
advantage.
guy's crazy.
Something so subtle that neither SBD Wolf nor anybody else in the community even realized he was doing it. A trick that would later be known as Calibur swaps. If you do an EX attack on a ground level, your weapon stops firing from the time you press the button until the time the EX animation is complete. But if you swap your weapon during this period, the game lets you continue shooting your weapon while the EX animation plays. The game resets this when the EX shot comes out at the midway point.
I'm surprised I scored
So
that.
to fire throughout the entirety of the
That was a
EX
very bad
animation,
shot.
you need to Calibur swap twice, once before the midpoint and once after the midpoint. All that just to keep firing during the second half of the animation. But it's worth it if you can do it. It helped to make faster cycles on bosses. Brightbeard, for instance, thanks to Calibur swaps, he was able to one-cycle the final phase, meaning he avoided the laser where you can't deal damage for a bit. Across the whole run, SBD Wolf was saving about 15 seconds over Luigi, and nobody had any clue. The trick was formally found by a runner named Calibur a couple months later, and that's when SBD Wolf realized what he'd been doing. He pressed EX and then switched weapons so that he could fire his original weapon for slightly longer, without realizing this was also allowing him to keep firing during the EX animation.
It's possible to
So,
win.
without the
In
knowledge of why
1v1s,
SBD
one goal
was
is
going
very
so much faster,
Like
Luigi
that can
played
be
to
scored
try
in
and get the
like
record
20
back.
seconds.
Around this time, he was joined by another runner, Calibur, the namesake of Calibur swaps. Much like SBD Wolf, Calibur had slowly gotten better in the background, inching closer and closer to the 1.1 world record. Both runners played extensively in March and April 2018, and on April 3rd, both Luigi and Calibur ended up breaking the record.
I was
Neither world
confused,
record
but then I was like, oh, he's
substantial
going
improvement,
over
but it made it so that the previous three records were each set by a different player. Then just a few days later, Luigi got a bigger record, 31:42. One of the biggest time saves in this run came on Rumor Honeybottoms. As usual, there's three phases here, and Luigi beautifully executed his game plan through them all. Phase 1 is the security beat. You get up close and hit him with spread. It's important to kill him before he reaches the left side of the screen, since once you kill him,
Maybe
he
I am.
flies
I
off
don't know.
screen in
This is
any
like a
direction he's
tie
traveling.
game, basically.
Then in Phase 2, Rumor herself comes out, and she has three attacks
But
she
he's
can
also
randomly start
really
with.
good.
The B missile, the orbs,
So
or the
close.
triangles. She went with the orbs, and Calibur got some bad luck with the platforms in his run. The platforms usually have one randomly not spawn in per row, and it made it so that Calibur had to retreat and not damage Rumor for several seconds.
I thought that was going
Luigi
in,
got
but
better
it,
luck with the
I would have
platforms and had a
saved
very
it
clean
if it
fight,
did go in.
finishing off Rumor very quickly in Phase 3
And
in
the
saving
double
about 8
tap.
seconds.
I wouldn't have got
Probably
the
the best
double
split in his
tap.
entire run.
If it
Then a
the
couple weeks
first
later,
tap didn't
it
go
happened
in,
again.
the
Both
second
Luigi and
tap.
Calibur set world records on the same day. This time it was Calibur first with a 31:36.
Down, that was
Then
so
a few hours
close.
later, Luigi got an amazing run of 31:16. This
Mumtaz.
was easily the cleanest run of the game so far. He'd implemented Calibur swaps by now, and was saving more time with them across the run. With Calibur and Luigi pushing
I'm
each other,
treating
the world record
casual
had
as a
plummeted
ring
fast.
base.
But this 31:16 by Luigi was a pretty impressive run. No major mistakes throughout all 19 bosses. There's a good chance that it would have stood for
Is it like the
weeks,
same? Oh,
even
it's
months, as it was
38
now
here.
20 seconds ahead of second place. But that's not what happened. Because on May
41.
2018,
I need to get
a
top
major
41.
shift
I know
was
this
cut by the
isn't top.
leaderboard.
I'm pretty sure.
Up until now, there were two main categories.
Wait, if
all
I go
bosses
to
and all boss
live
versions.
match and then I
In
click
all
here,
bosses,
sometimes
you play
this
on
one
version
works.
and do whatever tricks you want. In all boxes
I bet
glitchless,
it's
you
not.
play on the 1.1 patch, and all
Even
boxes
if it
are
is, it might be.
This initially
No,
worked
yeah,
out pretty
that's
well,
lower than
because
my
the developers seem to have done a great job patching out all glitches from 1.1. But now, 6 months after the patch, players had really torn apart version 1.1, and they discovered that maybe this wasn't such a glitch-free patch after all.
Okay.
So they decided to redo the categories. Instead of all bosses and all bosses glitchless, everything was now just all bosses. And there was a subcategory denoting if you were playing on the old version or 1.1. Glitches were now allowed on both versions of the game. And as of May 2018, there were now a few new tricks that players were able to implement in their 1.1 speedruns. First, a simple one, shop glitch. Normally, to buy items in the shop, you press confirm to buy them and then press back to exit the shop. However, if you press confirm and back on the same frame, you can exit the shop while the purchase animation plays. In addition, you can even buy a second item while the screen fades out back to the map. It saves a few seconds, was found shortly after the game's release, and now it was available for 1.1 speedruns. Another trick was on the second boss of the run, Ribian Pros. First, we need to understand a concept called overdamage. We already know that boss fights are broken up into different phases, but importantly, even though each phase is triggered by an amount of damage, the fight usually won't transition to that phase until the boss is done with whatever move or attack you're doing. And the damage you do during that time counts as damage in the next phase. You can make certain phases much shorter, or in some cases, even skip phases altogether. This is known as overdamage.
I'm pretty bad at saving though. Maybe I'm good at scoring, but at saving I'm
a trick involving overdamage that lets you skip phase 2 of the fight. It was long known to be possible on the pre-patch version, but the lack of weapon swap glitch on 1.1 seemed to make it impossible. But in March 2018, a player named Jumper N found a way to do it. You get the frog's health on the cusp of transitioning past phase 1, then the instant they begin an attack that they must finish before transitioning, you unload a barrage of spread fire EXs into a precise spot where their hitboxes overlap. You also damage boost inside of their hitbox for better damage. If all is done properly, you do enough damage to end phase 2 before it begins. Instead of separating from phase 2, they roll into each other and turn straight into the slot machine for phase 3. It saves time by skipping a transition.
I should have used the
about 8
body.
seconds. The fact that 1.1 runners were now allowed to do all this and more was very exciting. And it was enough to bring SBD Wolf back to running the category.
Nice. That was close, but they didn't get
He
it.
knew that Ribian Pros was going to be a huge reset point. It was just the second fight in the run, but getting the super skip required both good RNG and difficult execution. He decided that whenever he missed it, he'd just reset the run. He felt the 8 seconds was that important. It was tough having to reset early so often, but it eventually paid off. On May 6th, SBD Wolf got the first sub-31 in Cuphead 1.1's history. SBD Wolf didn't intend to improve the run any further, since Ribian Pro's Super Skip made the category frustrating to play. But a couple months later, he accidentally did. While practicing for a tournament, SBD Wolf set a new world record of 30-50. This was the first world record to use new tech found by Luigi, called Luigi Swaps. Similar to Calico Swaps, they let you keep shooting during an EX on the flying intervals, but unlike Calico Swaps, you must press EX and fire on the same frame. A month later, Calico took the record back with a 30-47.
Damn, I didn't know that was a pass, but whatever.
Reclaiming it
That's
with a
good.
30-45. And it was around this time that SBD Wolf began looking into implementing a new trick. Remember, allowing glitches in 1.1 was still a new thing, and runners were still trying
Yeah,
to
it was
figure out which
supposed to
glitches
be
from
his
Legacy
mouth,
could
so
be
I was like,
adapted.
actually, I'm not gonna stay, I got it.
Everyone knew there was a white whale. One glitch from Legacy that would be more valuable than any other. If they could find a way to make this one work without weapon swap glitch,
That was
it would be
crazy.
the biggest time save in the run. This is Beppy Glitch. Midway through the second aisle is a boss called Beppy the Clown. Just like Ribian Pros, it's possible to overdamage him and skip transition animations. In phase 1, Beppy moves back and forth and then slides across to the other side of the screen and hits the wall, repeating this pattern over and over. Once you've damaged him enough, then the next time he slides across the screen, instead of turning
I
around,
actually
he'll
hit
fall
my
off the ball.
first, like,
That
really
was the trigger to
good
begin phase 2,
for
and it's the perfect
whatever it's
spot to
called.
overdamage him. Beppy doesn't transition to phase 2 until after he
Okay,
slides
now
across
I'm
and falls off the
unsure.
screen. So you
It
want
might
to
be
deal
41,
most of
so
that
I
damage
can
into
do
phase 2.
casual
Then the
anyways,
instant
so
he
let's
slides
see.
against the wall, start shooting him and deal enough damage to pass the next phase trigger before he slides and falls off the screen. If done
Oh,
properly,
35,
phase 2
top
never ends, and the game
41%.
gets confused.
Yeah, okay.
Beppy's phase
Last
2
dance.
death sprite loads in, but the fight is actually in phase 3 and his hitbox is active the entire time. He stays in this glitch state for the rest of the fight, so you end up skipping both the phase 3 and phase 4 transition animations.
Wait.
Now on the legacy version, Beppy glitch was very doable. Thanks to weapon swap glitch, you could deal enough damage before the transition to
Yeah,
phase 2.
casual.
But when 1.1 came out, that seemed to mark the end of Beppy glitch.
Wait, let me do something.
SBD Wolf managed to hit it with a spread and Q-shooter combo in June 2018. As soon as Beppy hit the wall on the right side of the screen, SBD Wolf unloaded everything he had into him, taking him out as he slid back to the left. It was also random. Beppy needed to avoid sliding for as long as possible to deal enough damage. But as hard as this all was, Beppy glitch was officially possible on 1.1. And it was a 20-second time save if SBD Wolf could get it in a run. He knew how huge this would be. With the current record at 30:45, a 20-second time save would leave runners just 25 seconds away from an enormous milestone, the sub 30. However, actually pulling this off in a run was going to be a big ask. On August 27th, SBD Wolf had a run that was a bit behind midway through, but with a 20-second time save potential on Beppy, he knew this was recoverable. No luck. Beppy slid too soon, so there was no time to deal enough damage. That being said, he followed this up with the fastest Grim matchstick he'd ever played in a run, and he closed it out as a small world record.
Okay.
Yet, he barely even cared.
Nice.
He cared so little, in fact, that he kept his stream going, and a couple hours later, he had another run.
This is the last time, hopefully, if I
A
win.
huge opportunity to try and get the glitch. Once again, SBD Wolf set up Beppy's damage, unloaded at him at the right moment, and then...
Nope, that's not the better. Never mind.
unlucky again. Not only did he not gain time, but he lost 7 seconds. Yet it was a repeat of the last run. He had an excellent Grim matchstick, Golden Boomer Honey Bottoms, and took a lead late into the game.
Alright. Sub 30-30, very nice.
This was a pretty big one. The first ever sub 30-30. And more importantly, if he could hit Beppy glitch, that alone was a 30-second time save over the split in this record. No other top-level players were actively playing. This was his milestone to reach. The next day, it was a familiar situation. SBD Wolf kept it close through aisle 1 with a chance to pull way ahead on Beppy, if he could get the glitch. This time, he got a good pattern, but messed it up by getting something runners call a nothing. When doing a Calvin swap, if you weapon swap on the exact frame the EX attack is supposed to come out, the EX attack gets cancelled and never goes out. So, it was the same story again. No Beppy glitch, but he played well in the late game and pulled off yet another world record. So he was lowering the record, but this particular run felt about as good as it was going to get without Beppy glitch. He really needed it for sub 30, but it was just never happening. Maybe he needed a different approach. Part of the problem was Beppy needed to stay still for long enough to deal the damage. But it turns out, Beppy's delays here aren't fully random. They're only partially random. He has 10 possible delays, and they always occur in order, but the starting point in this sequence is random. This is how most RNG works in the game. You can technically predict what a boss is going to do next if you're able to identify where you are in the RNG sequence. So, SBD Wolf realized he could apply the concept of Beppy glitch. If he could identify where Beppy was in his pattern after the first 2 delays, he could identify if the third delay would be long enough to do Beppy glitch. If it wasn't, he could wait 1 or 2 more cycles to do Beppy Glitch, losing a bit of time but still saving time overall. This clever idea gave him a much bigger chance of hitting Beppy Glitch in the run. And the very next day after discovering it, SBD Wolf did this.
There you go. Very nice. Sub 30 has been achieved.
This was such a satisfying run for SBD Wolf. He hit Beppy Glitch by recognizing his pattern. His hard work had paid off, and he was able to use it to get the first sub 30 in Cuphead history. Congratulations flooded in from the community. It was by far the biggest milestone in 1.1's history, and SBD Wolf was now in first place by a full minute.
That's crazy, he just killed me. Demolished me.
Given all the activity, it's easy to forget, but at this point Cuphead wasn't even a year old. And yet, version 1.1 had already seen 27 world records. Hardly a month ever passed without a new record, as runner after runner came along and got good. But now that the sub 30 was achieved, things finally slowed down. Compared to the previous 9 months, the fall of 2018 was a very quiet period for Cuphead speedruns. Through all of September, October, and November, no new world records were set. SBD Wolf's stranglehold on the leaderboard was too strong, and it stayed that way until something big happened in late 2018. To understand the next chapter in Cuphead's history, we have to look at the 7th place runner, a player named Grondius. Careful viewers may have seen his name earlier in this video. Grond got into Cuphead speedruns in the spring of 2018. Just another person who played the game shortly after its release, loved it, and decided to pursue
Bro, why was
speedrunning.
the other player
By that
over
summer,
there?
he moved into the top 10.
What?
He was a
Wait,
good
that's
player,
so dumb.
but not really a threat to the world record.
Okay, it maybe makes sense that he was over there, but then he just boosted to like somewhere random.
To go faster.
I don't
And
know.
in November 2018, while stuck
not
inside
sure.
into a snowstorm, Grond started messing with a radical new idea. He wanted to throw out the current run and reroute the entire game with a new weapon combination, Lobber and Spread. This was an interesting duo. We already know that Spread does a ton of damage, but with a very short range. Lobber also deals great damage, and was particularly intriguing because of its EX attack, which has an unintended mechanic, double damage Lobber EXs. A Lobber EX normally does 28 damage. However, if it hits the ground, the game accidentally creates splash damage twice.
Now,
So
what
for
are
a boss
you
within
doing?
range, it'll deal 56 damage to the boss. It's also possible to hit a precise spot on some bosses where the Lobber EX explodes, and the boss is hit by both double splash damage and direct impact, dealing a total of 3 times normal damage. However, even if you do it correctly, this only works half the time. But this double damage mechanic, combined with Spread, could be extremely powerful. The problem is that in order to purchase Lobber, you need more coins, and that means having to play a running gun at the start, Forest Follies, which takes an extra 50 seconds. So if Grond could manage to save at least 50 seconds with Lobber, then it would be worth it. Grond got to work. He found that doing Calico swaps with a Lobber EX and Spread up close was a powerful combo. He had to figure out new routes for several fights all on his own, and the more he played, the more he was able to reap benefits from the Lobber. Grond told SBD Wolf what he was doing in November 2018. He was losing 50 seconds at the start of the run, but making up a chunk of that time across the remainder. Not worth it yet, but if he kept looking, he thought he could close the rest of the gap. And he kept finding new stuff. For Beppy, with the old weapon combo, you'd sometimes have to wait 4 or 5 cycles to get the right pattern, but with Lobber and Spread, you could always get the glitch in 3 cycles. He also refined the Baroness von Bonbon. This fight features 3 mini-bosses selected out of a pool of 5. There's 60 possible combinations. Grond relearned every option with Lobber and Spread, figuring out the optimal way to play every single scenario. So he had the new weapons, he had the new strategies. It was still slower than the old route, but the gap was shrinking. He'd already made up 27 in 50 seconds. Grom wasn't sure if he could take it the rest of the way, but he wanted to try. And over the next couple months, it started to get close.
Yes, there it is. Yes. Oh, we did it, dude. We freaking goal in it, dude. Sub 30, man. Yes, dude. 29-23, dude.
This was the culmination of an enormous effort in research and execution. Grom had set a massive world record. Indisputable proof that the Labyrinth spread route was the way to go, despite having to spend nearly a minute at the start collecting coins. Grom was pretty adamant that he was done. He'd had an incredible story arc in this game, practically inventing a new route and now getting a world record with it. At this point, there wasn't much motivation to continue, but maybe SBD Wolf could egg him on. In December, SBD Wolf started messing with the Labyrinth spread route, and just like Grom, he found it to be the faster option. He set a new personal best of 29:45, then continued with attempts to get the world record back. SBD Wolf and Grom helped each other, and as they did, more runners began adopting the Labyrinth spread route. But it was SBD Wolf who closed in, and just after the new year, he came through with a new world record of 29:21.
That is the record. Done.
In this run, SBD Wolf saved big time on Hildeberg. This is a flying level in Isle 1. Hilda sways back and forth through the fight, and the idea is to use EX attacks when she's moving right so that she travels with it and takes more damage. When she charges forward, runners intentionally take damage so they can fire an EX attack that hits her over and over. In Grom's run, he accidentally took damage on a parry roll, which meant he couldn't intentionally take damage later and it threw the rest of the fight off. SBD Wolf capitalized on the time save. After this run, SBD Wolf looked to play other categories, and he also started focusing on Castlevania speedrunning, where he'd eventually claimed the world record. So he moved on from playing any percent 1.1 speedruns. But Grom, on the other hand, was nowhere near done. The torch had been passed. SBD Wolf was way ahead, but now Grom had fully caught up. And just days after the 29:21, Grom took the record back with a 29:10.
We did it! Alright, world record reclaimed.
The most notable split in this run was Baroness. He got Cupcake, Waffle, Candy Corn, one of the fastest patterns, much faster than SBD Wolf's split, which got Jawbreaker, Cupcake, and Gumball. In general, Waffle is super fast, so you want that to be one of the three. Suddenly, just 11 seconds
forgot I
from the
was
next minute barrier,
streaming.
Grom pushed onward. He grinded
Good
off
guys.
on all through the month of January, while also searching for faster ways to defeat bosses. One thing he discovered was tech called flick lobbers. Instead of holding down the fire button to repeatedly shoot lobbers, you manually tap it so that you can face away from the enemy between shots.
Yeah,
It's useful
I
in
need to
fights
win
like
2
Warden
more
where you need
games
to
in a
repeatedly
row.
move away from the boss but still want to damage him.
Or I
Now
need to
officially
win more
going for
games.
sub 29 on February 8th, Grom
Good.
got so close.
Okay,
It
now I
clocked
need
in
one
29
more
minutes
game in
flat.
a row.
Just one more second until
Oh
the
no,
next
what?
minute barrier.
Oh, apparently I
Then a
lost
couple
2,
weeks
so I
later,
need 3,
he had an up-and-down run.
yeah,
He
2
got a
more
good
after
Baroness
this.
pattern, but lost time on Beppy Glitch. He got good RNG on Rumor Honey Bottoms, but lost time down the stretch in Aisle 3. This
Bro,
thing
I
running
was so good in that
long.
hockey
It's
game.
hard to get everything to line up. But then he golden king dice, saving another 4 seconds. Grom was freaking out.
Oh my god, dude, this might actually be it.
Oh,
Just
no, we're
one fight left to
losing.
go. The Devil. We haven't talked about him yet, but he is
That was a
long-lasting,
crazy
enormous
shot by
roll
that AI.
right at the very end of the run. For starters, he's extremely random, more than just about any other boss. In Phase 1, there's several attacks he can throw, including the clap and the parryable attack with bubbles. But through all this, there's one massive piece of RNG. At some point during the phase, it's very likely you'll either get the spider attack or the serpent attack. Both attacks have subsets of RNG within them, but in general, you really want to get the serpent, not the spider. The serpent either comes out from the left or right side with fairly straightforward RNG. The spider is unpredictable. It bounces a random number of times, randomly lands in different spots, and more. It's so hard to make a game plan. In general, the spider is at least a 6 to 7 second time over the serpent. It's 50-50 which one you get. So at the very end of the run, there's basically a coin flip as to whether or not you make it. And that's just Phase 1. You then jump down a hole, and there's a brief cutscene animation where Cuphead stares in awe before Phase 2 begins. If you pause and unpause, then use EX, you can shoot and move during this animation, the Geo Buffer. So on this pace with sub-29 on the line, Gron had a lot to think about. The devil opened with some normal attacks, and then the moment of truth. Was this spider or serpent?
Oh my god. It's happening, guys. It's happening. Dude, I did it! Heck yeah, man!
This was another satisfying run for Gron. He got the goal he was looking for, broke another minute barrier, and now that SBD Wolf wasn't playing anymore, the next closest runner was a minute behind. With the sub-29 achieved, Gron moved to play other games, and the community died down once again. These types of periods are normal in speed games. Sometimes there's a rush of activity and it seems like everyone is playing. Other times, everyone's on a break at the same time, and there's no real competition for the record. The latter was definitely true in the spring of 2019. Gron's 2853 was an amazing run, and now that glitches had been allowed for several months, it was less exciting and new. But in mid-April 2019, this period of inactivity came to an abrupt end. Because that's when the developers released yet another patch for Cuphead, version 1.2. Speedrunners were looking forward to this update, but were soon disappointed. Version 1.2 removed a lot of glitches. They patched out double damage wobble mixes, got rid of the ability to click for objects, and changed various hitboxes. 16 months ago, when the game went from 1.0 to 1.1, it worked out well from a speedrunning perspective. Major glitches were patched, so runners were forced to come up with new tech. But 1.1 to 1.2 took it a bit too far. That cool tech was now removed, and it made fights last longer. It was a fine update for casual players, but speedrunners didn't know what to do. There was a big debate over how to deal with version 1.2. The end result was it became its own category. No major glitches, where in addition to the patched out tricks, stuff like Beppy Glitch and Luigi swaps were also banned. So now, 1.0, 1.1, and 1.2 each had their own categories. And of the three, the one that developed the most momentum was 1.1, because in mid-2019, Jason2890 came back to the category. Jason was a Cuphead legend. He'd held the 1.0 record in 2018, and recently set the 1.2 record as well. The only record he hadn't held was 1.1, where he currently sat in third place behind Gron and SBD Wolf. In fact, careful viewers might have noticed him earlier in this video. Cuphead runners are some of the most collaborative I've ever seen. Jason and Gron talked all the time and compared their fastest segments. And as a result, in late June, Jason took his PB straight from a 29.54 to a 29 flat.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I actually almost got this up 29.
He was actually on world record pace late, but he took a slower route on King Dice and made some mistakes. So, Jason had to keep going. He played all through that summer, and in August, he took the 1.1 record for the first time ever with a 28.49. At this point, Gron and Jason were talking with each other constantly, sharing new strats and pointing out optimizations that they had found. Their focus was less on who held the record and more on discovering as much as they possibly could to save time. They found small improvements on Cagney Carnation, Hilda Bird, Calamaria, and more. These two were on another level when it came to Cuphead, and as a result of their collaboration, they decimated the world record throughout 2019.
Yes! 28:44. Yes! Finally. Hey, we did it! 28, we still got it, dude! Hey, we did it!
Crazy.
Oh my god.
They just kept going. Every few weeks, one of them got a new improvement. There were a few new minor techniques, but most of this was just Jason and Gron pushing each other. Generally, these were very small improvements to the record, but this was nothing compared to the run that Jason got.
Oh my
on November
gosh.
13th, 2019. The run really started on Hildenberg, where he got an excellent 103. He then got a solid pattern
Damn, that looks like a boss.
nailed Beppy Glitch, and got good luck with the clouds on Grim Matchstick. Jason had an unreal 17-second lead over his personal best. This was on pace for a 28-1X,
What is that?
an enormous world record. After a gold on Dr. Paul, Jason faltered a bit, but still maintained a 15-second lead with just one fight to go, the Devil. It was all going to come down to the grand decision, Serpent or Spider. Despite getting Spider, Jason's lead was so massive that he still broke the record. It was just a 28-2X instead of a 28-1X. Gron and Jason both took note of this pace. In their minds, 28-1X would be the ultimate goal of Cuphead. And as friendly as their rivalry was, they did both want to reach it first. Jason said in the description of his 28-29 that he might take a break, but it really didn't last long. Only slightly behind the record, going into the Devil, comparing against the run that got the Spider. If he got the Serpent right now, this could be 28-1X. Just terrible luck. Twice now, he was on 28-1X pace of the Devil, and he lost the 50-50 both times. A few weeks later in December, Jason finally got the Serpent, but it was after a very slow phase 1 where he took damage, missed shots, and bled a lot of time. A new world record, but not quite the 28-1X.
What is that
Despite
shot?
the lackluster end, Jason was very satisfied with this run.
He's
He was
crazy.
truly happy with how he
Why am I
played
getting
outside
like
of the
crazy
brief moments on the
people
Devil.
every single
Even
time?
though he didn't have that arbitrary milestone of 28-1X, did it really matter? This was the exact type of run he was looking for. Jason decided to step back and leave it to Gron, who continued
This
his
dude's
runs for a few
crazy.
weeks. He used all the strategies that he and Jason had worked together to develop over the past several months. And on January 17th, 2020, it paid off with the greatest world record in Cuphead history. Gron saved big time on Wally Warbles and never looked back. He got great RNG all the way through with very few mistakes. And at the end on the Devil, Gron managed to hold it together
Damn, I'm the
despite
best one
realizing
here,
what he was
basically.
getting.
What is this? Dude, what the frick was that? Devil, dude, we got that! Oh my god! 28-13! Oh my god, dude!
There it was, Cuphead's ultimate world record. Over the past year, Jason and Gron had pushed each other so much that they'd run away with the category. They were a full minute ahead of anybody else. These guys were able to get times on fights that nobody else could even come close to. And the end result was this record, a 28-13 that Gron officially set, but was ultimately deserved by both runners. What they did through the second half of 2019 was remarkable, but it wasn't to last. Because after this 28-13, both runners were done. They'd had their fun and were ready to turn it over to somebody else. But was there anybody else waiting? Up until now, 1.1 speedruns had sort of been the secondary category, while 1.0 runs were considered the main speedrun of Cuphead. However, that gradually changed, as more and more runners wanted to play 1.1. It was a perfect balance between having lots of tech while not being completely broken. Throughout 2021 and 2022, 1.1 exploded in popularity, and eventually overtook 1.0 as the main category on speedrun.com. Now, lots of speedruns had popularity boosts during this time, as people suddenly had a lot more time on their hands. But Cuphead 1.1 is an extreme example. In just a couple years, it went from 87 runners to over 300. This could be due to popular games done quick runs, tutorials like Ron made, or the fact that the game just remained culturally relevant. The game also came out on other platforms that didn't allow down patching, which made it harder to play 1.0. But whatever the cause, the end result was undeniable. By 2022, 1.1 was the premier category of Cuphead, which was now a very popular speed game. And yet, despite this, Gron's 2813 still remained on top more than 30 months after it was set. There were more than 200 new runners, but nobody could beat either Gron or Jason, still holding down the #1 and #2 spots in late 2022. It was a testament to what these guys accomplished back in 2019. Their run stood the test of time. This gap in the record timeline was pretty unexpected given the frequency of records in Cuphead's early days, but still, there were a lot of active contenders, improving their skills and residing not far behind on the leaderboard. If one of them could just get that small amount better, they could separate from the pack and make a run at the world record. For many months, nobody could do that, but on August 1st, 2022, someone submitted a 2816 to the leaderboard, with one simple line in the description. I'm coming for you, Grondius. This is Clipboard Guy. Clipboard Guy started running the game shortly after Gron's record was set in January 2020. He actually learned from the tutorials that Gron made. Like many in the community, he gradually improved over the next couple years. By May 2021, he had a sub 30, and by that October, he had a sub 29, a distant third behind Jason and Gron. But he was the best active runner of the game, and he had the best chance of beating 2813. To help, he implemented a couple new strategies, both of which Jason found years earlier. The biggest was on
I hate that you have to leave
a
and
strategy
rejump,
called the cart
basically.
push, allowing him to get up
That's
close
what you
without wasting
usually
much
have to
time and
do.
saving a couple seconds. These time saves on the margins were super important. When going after a record as good as the 2813, literally every second matters. And on October 28, 2022, it
1v1.
happened.
Oh damn.
Clipboard Guy got good time saves on the flying levels, Hildenberg and Calabria, and did this.
And goal?
Yeah, it's crazy that people this rank are that good.
After nearly 3 years of being on top, Gron's 2813 had been beaten. It took a
In
monumental
honoring-
effort from a huge group of runners,
Or
and
in casual.
Clipboard Guy was the one to do it. In true speedrunning fashion, the community immediately turned their attention to the next milestone. They were now just 10 seconds away from the next barrier, the sub 28. Sub 30 came in 2018. Sub 29 came in 2019. Now, it was 2023, and there was no sub 28. It all comes back to the world record gap. New strategies were found in the last few years, but they were pretty minor. And with Gron, Jason, and SBD Wolf all stepping away in 2020, it took time for other runners to catch up to their skill level. But now with the minute barrier on the line, the stakes were higher than ever. Of the three former top runners, Jason and SBD Wolf had no interest in returning to the category. But Gron was
I've seen a bit more Israel. I've seen like around the same Palestine
returning
and
to set the
Israel.
first sub
I
28
think
would be pretty
like
epic.
a bit
He
more
had his
Israel.
work cut out for him if he wanted to be Clipboard Guy there, but Gron wanted to go for it. So in 2023, for the first time in more than 3 years, Gron was back. With such a long time off, he had to relearn the route, as well as learn the minor developments that had been made since 2020. To help, Gron used a practice hack of the game with RNG control built by SBD Wolf. It allowed him to better practice getting certain RNG in different fights, so he was more prepared for any situation,
Wait, I wanna see this go.
especially the rare ones. As he got
Yeah, I
back
did
on the
it
shoot,
there.
Gron
And
set
then
a
I
few
did
records
that.
in
Yeah.
individual fights,
A normal
getting
goal,
ready to
but
go for the full
before
game.
that there was like a
But
half
during his
game.
practice, it was Clipboard Guy who got the next chance. He pulled ahead of the record in Grim Matchstick, then continued with a good Dr. Call. After Werner Werman in aisle
I think that
3,
would've
he was
gone in
officially
so
on
nice
his best
there.
pace ever. He then entered the very random Briny Beard. He'll do 3 attacks in phase 1. He can either fire his gun or call in an animal attack, squid, shark, or dogfish. The first attack is always the gun, and the next two are 50-50 likely to be the gun or an animal attack. Gun attacks are generally faster, while Dogfish is the worst because you have to wait a long time. Clipboard Guy got 2 guns and then Dogfish, so he gave back a little bit of time. But
There's
then he
a
got a gold split on
tree called
Dice.
Slipboard
His
Tree
best
that's
possible time going into the
relatively
devil
close to my house.
was
It's not that close.
27:59.
Pretty
Time
far
for the
out.
moment of truth.
It's like
Serpent
30
or spider?
minutes away. Slipboard Tree Road.
He got the serpent. But with this borderline pace,
Funny.
he needed to go for one more thing. The Devil Freeze. If you deal enough damage during the Geo-Buffer animation to move to the third phase of the fight, the game stops the screen scroll and essentially breaks the Devil fight. His animations still play, but he doesn't attack and tears don't drop down.
Why did I do that?
Stopping the
Whatever.
screen scroll early lets the Devil's hitbox be closer to the platforms than normal.
That's a very
This
big
means you can
mistake,
land
so
double
like
damage
it
long
it's
reactions
basically
and end the
doesn't
fight
show
faster.
that he's better than
However,
her, so
going
it's
for the
fine.
Devil Freeze is super risky. If you over-damage him and transition past phase 2 before going down
I don't know how
the
to
game
get that.
soft locks and you can't beat the fight. So on this
Did
pace,
he do
getting
a
to sub 28
purple
required hitting the
flip
Devil
reset?
Freeze.
No, he just
Despite
said
the
it was
risk of
really
soft
hot.
locking, Clipboard Guy had to go for it.
Down, how did I miss? Feel like I still have a chance. All of these goals are like very embarrassing and very.
Yeah.
Except one. One he was actually doing good. I couldn't save him.
And if I did, that probably would have been sub 28, but still really good run.
It just wasn't quite enough damage. The sub 28 would have to wait. But the blueprint for such a run was now in place. Players needed a fast enough run going into the Devil, and then they needed the Serpent pattern plus the Devil Freeze. If any of these three things weren't in place, then sub 28 was just about impossible. Clipboard Guy and Braun were the only active runners with the potential to do this. It was a race to see who could get everything lined up first.
How did I miss that? That was again a bad play by me. Bro, just what are you doing?
But man,
Escape already.
that minion.
I hate when
just
people
totally messed
do
me up.
That's crazy. Okay, I should.
It's a world record. It's not the sub 28, but I got record with Spider.
That one was crazy. There were 2 crazy ones and 2 good ones, but no, and 3 good ones. But the 3 good ones I could have actually stopped. So I was playing bad in that run too. It wasn't only that he was playing good. Oh, it's this man?
There was always something missing. Either the spider pattern or this Devil Freeze. And now that Braun finally got both in a run, it just happened to be on a pace that was too slow for sub 28. There seemed to be no way around it. It had to be a good run with a really good Devil. Well, on August 16th, 2023, Grond got a run going that I would say definitely qualifies as a good pace into the Devil.
Let's go! Yeah! Sub 28!
As it turns out, the pace was so good.
My bet
Despite
should
an
do a
awful
5.
pattern, Braun was still able to get it. He'd really gotten just about everything. A good Baroness pattern, a clean Beppy glitch, good grip matchstick and river honey bottoms lock, a great Briny beard pattern, plus so much more. And as the celebration began for yet another minute barrier broken, Grond knew he wasn't done. There was a glaring 12-second time loss on the Devil. There was potential to do so much better. Both Grond and Clipboard Guy had to keep going. Trying to match this pace into the Devil was gonna be tough. So, Grond looked to really further optimize each individual fight. One thing that helped was DPS improvements, making sure he was maximizing damage dealt at all times. He worked on managing his cooldown, the time between weapon shots, so that even when he did a Calva swap, he could always ensure a lobber shot would pop out just before the DS. It made only a few frames of difference in damage, but it could add up to several seconds across the run if properly managed. Gromp also figured something out for one of the toughest fights, Phantom Express. We haven't talked about this fight yet. It's the third to last boss in the run, just before King Dice and the Devil. And it's notable for not having the overdamage mechanics that most other fights have. Damage does not carry over between phases. A crucial moment in the fight comes in phase 2. Here, the conductor comes out of the train, and you want to defeat him before he finishes his attack and goes back in the train, ideally without taking damage. If you can't, you lose at least a couple seconds. It's very difficult to one-cycle the conductor. You essentially can't miss any shots through the whole sequence. Then on top of that, if the first pumpkin spawns on the left, you're forced to damage boost to get the one cycle, leaving you with just 1 HP for the dangerous phase 4. But in October 2023, Ron found a simple solution to this. He could briefly move the cart over, then quickly back to center. It cost about a third of a second, in exchange for not losing the HP and having a much smaller chance of dying later in the fight. Cuphead is full of these tiny consistency boosts that in a vacuum don't seem like much, but it's when you add them all up that they
We have a
really
chance
shine.
to score another.
Optimizing weapon cooldown, avoiding 1 HP of damage, these small improvements helped Gron get more cases into the Devil. But as adamant as Gron was that the record could go lower, at the end of the day, he was still at the mercy of RNG. September 14th, 2023. Gron's on another good run. He gets a good Barret's pattern, good luck on Rubber Honeybottoms, and then gold split on Dr. Call. Then on Phantom Express, he gets the one cycle in phase 2. It's all lining up. Gron has a 7-second lead into the Devil.
No, I'm doing pretty bad today. I'm not doing the casual top for 1%.
Still a small record, but once again there was no Serpent. A month later, it was a similar story. A few seconds ahead into the Devil, with potential for a big record if he could get Serpent.
I'm so sick of this game.
In November, Ron had a run with some notable flaws. He got hit at the start of both Grim Matchstick and Calamaria, and got worse RNG on Briny Beard. For once, he was behind into the Devil. So of course, this is the run he finally got Serpent.
Just kill him. Okay, I'll take it, man.
It just wasn't fair. Of course, Gron was happy he broke the record, but he once again didn't have everything lined up. It still wasn't quite the run he was looking for. Over the next couple weeks, Gron set a couple more small world records. Just a few months ago, he was practically retired from the category. Now, he was unstoppable. He'd set 9 world records in a row, taking the time down from 28:03 to 27:45. With this level of domination, it's easy to forget, but Gron wasn't the only record contender. Clipboard Guy was still playing. His personal best was 27:54, and his goal was a 27:4x. As Gron kept lowering the record, the gap between the two players increased, but Clipboard Guy knew what he was capable of. On November 29th, he got a 6:58 aisle,
Damn, I'm 11
meaning he was
over
ahead of the record by
so
1
bad.
second. It continued in aisle 2. He got Beppy Glitch, along with really good RNG on the Grim Matchstick. Entering aisle 3, Clipboard Guy was 14 seconds ahead of his personal best. He started to falter a bit. He missed 2 EXs on
I'm
one
in
many
the
rhythms and
thick of
slowly bled
it.
time over the next couple fights. But
But
then, Briny Beard just kept shooting over and over. A great pattern, a great fight, and Clipboard Guy was on an unreal pace. He tried to stay calm, but he knew this was a ridiculous chance. Phantom Express was going to be a huge moment in this run. One of the hardest fights. with
Bro,
the
that
pressure.
would have been a crazy,
Phase
like,
1 was
backwards,
straightforward as he
bro.
quickly took out the ghost. In phase 2, he tried to one-cycle the conductor, but his DPS wasn't good enough, so he had to settle for the 2-cycle. Yet he kept an extra HP into phase 4, and he played beautifully to get the 1 cycle on the train. It wasn't a perfect split, but on this pace it was more than good enough. He made it to the Devil nearly 21 seconds ahead of his personal best. He could get as fast as a 27:34 here. Even if he bled 11 seconds on the Devil, he could still break the world record. Clipboard Guy was absolutely feeling the pressure, but it was time to go. He played phase 1 of the Devil, not sure what to expect. The spider hurt, but it was okay. He still had the lead. He had to stay locked in. Time for the Devil Freeze. He set up the exact right amount of damage with lava shots. This was precisely enough for the Devil Freeze to work. But then, he second-guessed himself. Clipboard Guy fired one more shot.
Dude.
Soft lock. Run over. It's crazy how you can play nearly perfectly for 27.5 minutes, but one extra shot and it all comes crashing down. It's rare to get good enough luck through the run to get a chance at the world record, so whenever you do get it, the pressure massively ramps up.
For some reason, 1v1 players are way better at casual than everything else.
And if you do, you have to play over and over, waiting for it to show up again. It really was a cruel metagame.
Oh damn, I even
Meanwhile,
did.
Ron was still playing for a 27-3x, but he too was down on his luck. He had that huge streak of spiders on the Devil, and in general, he was frustrated with RNG. Gron wondered if maybe the grind wasn't worth it anymore. Perhaps he should have stopped after the sub-28. And now seeing what Clipboard Guy could do, it would be easy to step aside and let him get the record. But instead, just a few days later, Gron made it all a moot point when he set his self-described ultimate run of Cuphead. The Discord server freaked out when they saw this 27:33. Gron had overshot his goal by 6 seconds. This was even faster than the pace Clipboard Guy was at a few days earlier. Gron started this run with the best IL-1 ever performed, a ridiculous 6:50, and he just kept it going. He was on his best pace ever for 18 out of the 20 splits in this run. The biggest time saves were on Cagney and Rumor. On the Devil, he got the Serpent and didn't get the Devil Freeze, but more importantly, he didn't soft lock. One other little thing that helped Gron, he was really good at star skip. After finishing a level, if you press A on the same frame that the stars start to be counted, both stars will appear at once instead of one after another. Runners usually try to mash and hit it since there's no good cue. Gron worked very hard on his mashing technique to improve the chance that he hit it. Eventually, he got to average 20 presses per second, meaning he hit star skip fairly often. This 27:33 was a huge triumph for Gron. He'd overcome mental agony to get this far, and he finished it off with the run of his dreams. While the recent record timeline looks really clean for him, that wasn't the reality of the situation. He'd nearly lost the record on multiple occasions, and his own mental struggles were present the whole way. But he stuck with it, he made it through, and ended with a ridiculous world record. Gron was finally done. It's now 2024, and this is the state of the Cuphead leaderboard. Grondius has a huge lead. Clipboard Guy is in second place, but not actively running the game. And beyond that, nobody is even close. It's a mix of inactive runners from years ago, and modern runners who are good, but not on world record level. There wasn't much hope in beating Gron's 27:33. And so, nothing changed through the first half of 2024. Then in July, a runner named Mr. Butter became the third member of the Sub-28 Club, getting a time of 27:55. However, he didn't pursue a lower time, so he wasn't really a threat to the record. In August, a runner named Quinsley got a huge PB of 27:40, knocking Clipboard Guy out of second place. But Quinsley couldn't beat his time either, as his run was a massive PB for him. Perhaps to take it the rest of the way, Cuphead needed a runner with a bit more experience. Someone like SBD Wolf. That month, a local gaming convention near SBD Wolf was looking for speedrunners to perform live. He thought Cuphead would be a good run to showcase, so he started practicing for it. SPD Wolf hadn't played the category in more than 5 years. His personal best of 29-21, once a world record, was now in 19th place. But even though he hadn't been actively playing, he'd still watched Gron and others over the past few years, so he had an idea of the new strategies and techniques. He worked on implementing them, and his personal best started to drop. 28-48, 28-26, 28-13. He played live at the convention, but decided he wanted to keep going. 28-03, 28-01, 27-51. What SPD Wolf was doing was unbelievable. He hadn't played in years, since back in the days when Lobber and Spread was brand new and really basic. He had learned 5 years of advancements in a couple months, and he was back to being a world record contender. But he had to act fast. Gron was considered the world's best player, and he could come back at any moment to defend his record. If SPD Wolf wanted to snag a world record, he had to do it right now. He began comparing against the world record in his splits, and it all came down to a run on November 20th, 2024. SPD Wolf fell a bit behind early, and he accidentally took damage on Wally, which prevented the fastest kill. But he had a fast Beppy glitch to pull back even. The world record had a really good Boomer Honey bottom, so he lost time there, but a good Briny pattern made up that time, and a gold split on King Dice put him in the lead. This was it. Just the devil to go.
That's pretty annoying.
If SPD Wolf got Spider, then he couldn't break the record, but would still be able to get a large personal best. But if he got Serpent, followed by the Double Freeze, he'd be able to knock off Grond. Time for the moment of truth.
Damn, that was crazy. That was good.
That's a freaking good run. Oh my god.
He got the Serpent, but a bad pattern meant getting the Devil Freeze was impossible. He still beat his run by a mile, but fell just short of the world record. Things were looking really tight at the top of the leaderboard, and that put the pressure on Grond. If he wanted to hang on to his record, he had to come back and figure out where he could save time. So he started practicing again. And over the last year, Grondius has embarked on a journey in 1.1 speedruns, working on new strategies.
That was like far corner. There's no way. I mean, the other guy was AFK, so they're watch away.
Alright, whatever, I'll take it.
A big change he made was focusing heavily on the spider. He spent hours mapping out all 20 spider patterns and their offsets, figuring out the optimal way to recognize and play each scenario. He found ways to make certain spider patterns only a small time loss. Not as good as Serpents, but not automatically run over.
That was a long 1 second left. He got it up in the air for a long time.
He also heavily grinded individual level records. He'd done this in the past too, but this time he took it to a new
Let's
level.
go, we're
At one point, he
getting there.
managed to hold all 19 world records using the in-game timer.
Let's go! You go! What? No shot!
And boy did Gron work on new strategies. He went for a more consistent clip in forest volleys that allowed him to get more runs going. He implemented a more consistent strategy on Goopy, first used by
Damn, that guy's a gold 3.
There were many small half a second to a second time saves that added up across the run.
Yes, dude, I clutched it! The freaking forest,
Damn.
baby!
There were
That
also
was
some
crazy. I didn't know it would have even
Gron,
a
SPD
little
Wolf,
power.
and Mr. Butter worked together to optimize all 60 patterns on Varus. Mr. Butter particularly wrote out a flowchart explaining exactly what to do depending on which mini-bosses you got, and showing how fast each combination was. Gron used this to his advantage.
Let's go!
In late 2024, Gron took the record down to 27:19. He came back in the spring of 2025 and improved it to 27:16.
Let's go, dude! Yes! No way, God!
Gromp has set the past 16 world records in Cuphead 1.1. It's been steady improvements over the past couple years, uninterrupted by any of Cuphead's other talented runners.
Yes,
The
let's
last
go. I
record
have
set by
boots
someone
here.
other than Rondius was when a clipboard guy got a 2803. Now the record is down to 2716. Is this over? Is this just Gromp's world record until the end of time? Well, I certainly don't think so. Recently, SBD Wolf has been making a push for the 1.1
That was crazy.
In
I didn't
September, he
expect
got us
that
up
to
to
happen.
2730, just 11 seconds off the record. And ahead of him,
I got lucky
Clipboard
that
Guy
it worked
and
once.
Winston, who each got personal best just a few weeks ago. That's 3 runners right on Rondius' tail. He still has the lead for now, but that could change at any moment. And the long reign of Rondius could soon come to an end.
Shit on.
This type of activity at the top of the leaderboard hasn't been seen in years, but it could be just what Cuphead needs to eventually make it to the next minute barrier. From the early days of Luigi, Soulwrath, and TMR, all the way to Gromdius' dominance in the modern era, Cuphead's minute barriers have always had significance. Each record holder, every top-level runner, has all played a part in bringing the record to where it is today. These players and more will help take the speedrun to its next level, and the Cuphead 1.1 world record will live on for years to come. Thanks for watching.
Gonna work.
Thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring this video, available for free on mobile, console, and PC. Don't forget about the massive bonus pack for new players
Oh,
and
he
those who
joined?
haven't played in 6 months. Just click my links in the description or pinned comment below.
Nice, let's go. That was an easy one. But it was lucky too, because that guy would have had the ball. Nice. No. I could have saved that. It's just the bump that if I didn't boost on it, it would have. Nice save. And I put my hands up, and they stay up. What was that? Oh. Damn. Well, this is a fun game mode actually. It's crazy game mode. And I'll put my hands up and then they stay up. That was crazy speed. Big shot. Nice. GG. Nice, that's actually a lot. That's something, that's like 40. Oh no, that's 39. Let's see my. $28, yeah, no, not that. I mean, let me see. Um, how long am I streaming? 1 hour and 13, that's not that bad. Well, I thought I was doing more, and I was like, how am I actually still, how do I still wanna play? But never mind, that's 1 hour and 13 minutes, that's not that. Oh my god. Let me just go again. $42. Oh yeah, it is that. Okay. There's gonna be some trouble with this. I don't know. You only you wanna tell me. Why is the percentiles not working anymore? I don't know, this is suspicious. I know this is top 15, I don't know what this is actually. Well, I wanna see the percentile, it's not even showing percentile. Well, let's if I know Hoops is crazy, I know Dropshot is crazy, but Rumbles, let's see what Rumble is. Rumble? Wait, no. Yeah, I'm flat 2 in Rumble. Flat 2. Yeah, that seems pretty good. I don't know, but it should be soon. I really want that to show the percentile. Okay, whatever. Should just need to wait for that. But let's check my analytics. So let's check YouTube first. Let's see if any views were. Oh, nice! I got a subscriber. That's even better than a view. Oh no, I didn't. What? I did get a subscriber, but then I lost it. October 10, October 11. Oof. Someone else. Okay. Whatever, a lot of people do that, it's normal. Okay, so I got overnight. I was not. Okay, I saw this view. There was this view and this view. And yeah, that's. Rocket League number 7 got a lot of views. For me, I don't know, 13 isn't for most people a lot of views. Average view duration is less than normal, that's crazy. Let's see my Twitch stats. Okay, let's just do plus 30 days, and we do day. Okay, but then stream summary. Where's the October 11th? Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Average viewers. So there were actually a lot of viewers. I don't understand why, but whatever. Okay, now let's see. I ain't worried about it. Okay. One. Okay, good. Here it's showing me. Hoops. Rumble. Yeah, Rumble is pretty soon. But I need to do quads now. Okay. Damn, the percentiles are getting hard. I'm literally in like casual and it's even hard. Like that took me a long time to get to the right casual range. Which is crazy because casual is supposed to be the easiest. I played against Musty, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't real Musty. But whatever. Could have been. Probably not though. But his name was literally Musty. Damn. Control Z. Oh yeah, there's no. Damn, we're a way better team. According to our rating. Our rankings. In the other. Oh. Why did I do that? I don't know. I did. Okay, I'll stay here. Yeah, this stage is so huge. Damn, that was going straight into the goal. It was crazy that he was right there. And it's through the window. Through the window. Yeah, very bad shot. Although I don't think I know how to do a lot of power from that. I could do more for sure, but a lot of power, yeah, I'm not sure about it. Also, that looked like it was gonna do a lot of power, so I don't know. I thought it would. That's why I went for it. Maybe it was just the wrong angle, I mean. How did I miss that? Whatever, it's a crazy path. Okay, no one got it. Unfortunately. Shouldn't have stayed there, but it's fine. Okay. I was almost at the ball, which is crazy. I like almost did a double dribble. But it's not called a double dribble. I don't know what the heck. Took too much of his anger. You fell for you. Nice shot. Let's go. Yeah, for you. Yeah, for you. Take shot. It's good. Then through the window. No. I need to go all the way back. How did I miss that? What is that weak? Okay, that was a good second one. Shit, I'm just gonna, oh, sorry. Nice. Oof. In whatever, they can't, it's possible, but they probably can't score in 2 seconds. We were doing bad here, but like, doesn't matter anyway. I'll stay in goal. You know, I couldn't even score that anyway, so that would have been my move even in normal games. Running through the window, I am not a nightmare. Okay, I'm not 587, right? I'm pretty sure I'm not. I could be. 594, yeah. Oh my. Oh my god. So I have to wait for it to load. Let's see if it's here. Yeah. Why am I... What? Oh yeah, because I was... Okay. Maybe we can play another... This one. Okay, good. The other one. I was gonna delete the other one.
Who would win in a game of tug of war? The strongest man on earth or 100 kids?
I really like Mr. Beast. I watched him since he had like 10 million subscribers. I actually don't remember exactly, but I watched him a long time.
Fastest jetpack in the world. We have the world record high jumper in a dunking contest. We have the world's best soccer player competing against celebrities, starting with the fastest woman on the planet versus these 100 men in a race. When did you win these 3 gold medals?
2 weeks ago.
Literally 2 weeks ago.
I feel like there's a man that, or even more than one man that.
Easy dubs, baby. Let's go. Between us, are you confident you're gonna beat them?
Yes.
Okay. Hey guys, I'll give you 100.
I mean, it's running though. It's not soccer. Apparently, soccer is crazy.
Please don't lose that. This is a race to the finish line, and the first one to cross wins. $100,000 to anyone faster than Melissa.
Melissa.
3, 2,
Malicious.
1.
Melissa and Tim.
All right, they're up. They're up. Can any of the guys beat the fastest woman on the planet?
What they are. Kinda.
She's ahead. She's ahead. She's ahead. Oh, she's ahead.
Oh, down.
She's actually close. She's currently in the lead. Wait, 35. 35 is gaining on her. Oh, she's speeding up. She's going up. Oh my God. Oh, look. Woo.
Down.
Oh, she was first. Oh my gosh. Whoa.
That was crazy.
You won. Shocker, you won. 35. You are actually not too far behind.
Good job. I saw you. Great job.
Wait, do you do track? Oh, you probably should. Shocker, the fastest woman in the world
Damn.
is very fast. Let's go to the next bit. For our next challenge, we have the smartest, greatest, #1 jet ski racer.
94 finally. Okay, what is it now?
That's right, Miami Zone
40,
305. I'm ready
40,
to go. I don't care who's on the
40,
jet
and
ski.
39. So,
I am gonna come out on top.
Well, you're not racing
It's
someone that's
casual.
using a jet ski.
casual is before everything else.
Oh, you'll see. You're clear for takeoff.
Take off.
Just look right over there. You're racing the #1 jet suit racer on the planet.
I don't know what that is.
I didn't either, but apparently people actually race in jet suits, and this guy is the best in the world.
So is there a trophy? Is there?
Yeah, the winner gets a huge
What?
trophy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Hey,
Yeah,
can we
it's
get a
good
trophy
that I
made before
did
the end of the race, please?
what
Thank you.
does-
The
what?
challenge is simple. DJ Khaled will be on a jet ski while Issa takes to the skies. And the first person to complete
How
one
would I
lap through
even?
a course
Yeah,
is
that's
the
not fair if I gained anything or
winner.
lost
Gentlemen, are
anything.
you ready?
Damn, there's the diamond.
3, 2,
This guy can't beat me.
1, go! 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 And they're off.
Turn it through the
All right, DJ Khaled is in
window.
the lead, but Issa's right behind him and he's catching up. They're turning the first corner now. Woo! Woo! Oh, he's catching up! He's so close! Issa's going faster on the straightaway. Oh no! He's a faster! He caught up to Khaled. Go, Khaled, go! But it's not over.
Wait, he can still actually win.
These turns are where the jet ski's gonna go faster. Khaled can gain ground. No! No! Khaled, go faster! There's a few turns left! This is your last chance to be the greatest!
Wait, Khaled's catching up. Go, Khaled, go!
Go!
Even here, friend.
What are you doing?
Go!
The race is still going! Why are you celebrating? Woo! Let's go! Oh my gosh, I think Issa did it! That was a blowout! Jet suit was so fast! And then there's DJ Khaled.
We the best. This guy can't beat me.
Oh. I don't know why I did that. I knew he was there.
You won, but Khaled is celebrating like he won.
It feels so good to win.
No, I won.
Brother,
Bro, I won.
brother, we all winners.
You're gonna have to take
Another one. Make sure my trophy's ready. I'm gonna put it beside all my other trophies.
All right, let's go to the next challenge.
You definitely won, but it's fine.
Congrats, Khaled! Up next, I brought back a couple of people you might recognize. We have Speed, Ronaldo's the biggest fan on the planet, going against Khalid, who defeated Ronaldo, the best soccer player in the world. Which, I don't know, might make Khalid the best soccer player in the world. If Speed wins, I will give a random fan of his 100 grand. If
Soccer
Khalid
isn't
wins,
just
he
running.
gets 100 grand instead.
Sorry, Speed fans.
Let's go.
Bro, if you're the best runner, there's no way you're the best soccer player. That makes no
3 targets wins.
Oh wait, no, they're
Exactly
doing
like
soccer.
The game you beat
So it
Ronaldo.
doesn't
Back
make
then, I said it's a 50-50 chance, but now it's like 90-10.
Whoa, you're that confident.
He's too confident. He beat Ronaldo. Ronaldo wasn't trying, so now he thinks it's all rainbows and horses. Let's go.
Is everyone back up?
Good luck.
Okay, Speed, $100,000 for your fans on the line.
For Ronaldo and my fans.
Damn,
gotta
I
do it for
kind
them.
of sneaked
hit a
it in
target.
the
Hit it.
right corner.
Oh,
Where'd that go?
Speed completely whiffed his first shot. Let's see if Khalid can go up by 1. Oh, he got
Oh,
close.
what?
He's too accurate.
Oh
I
my
thought
God,
that was
close.
in. I was
Speed's going right
gonna
into it.
change tabs basically.
What's going through your mind?
Bro, Beast is like, bro, he's like Beast.
Jimmy, give him some space, bro. My bad. I'm sorry. Oh, that was Chandler, not a target.
Chandler is not red and white.
All right, it's on
Yeah.
you whenever you're ready. You don't have to keep going easy on him. The slow-mo. The slow-mo. Oh,
Bro, come on, please, bro.
oh my God. In his face. Bro, congrats. I think Speed is actually getting bad. Well, if Speed doesn't hit this, he might be doing what Ronaldo did. Oh, it's just under. Are you gonna show no mercy? Are you gonna Ronaldo him? Oh my God! It's 2. Oh my gosh! you have- Speed, do it for your fans. All right, surely he hits 1. gosh. I've known Speed for a while, and I could tell he was actually getting mad.
Oh my God.
This is literally to a T what happened to Ronaldo. You're about to beat Speed after beating Ronaldo. No shot. No shot, he just ended right here. No shot. Oh! Speed, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you're about to get 3-0'd by Khalid. Ronaldo, if you're watching, look away. He got it! He got it! Let's go! Speed got a point! You're in this now, man. Bro, he's so locked in. This is the quietest I've ever seen Speed in my life.
Lead has been going to the right side.
Oh my God.
It's a beautiful goal.
This is aura.
He shows
This one's for Ronaldo.
Oh
my God.
What is
They kept going
happening
back
here?
and forth, and even though Khalid was confident, he was struggling to make that final shot.
Speed is not changing.
Let's go, Speed.
Oh! He tied it! He tied it! He's not even saying a word. Speed, the world wants to know. What? It's something. Give us something.
Ronaldo.
Whoever hits the final target wins. Khalid, you could end it here. You don't. He could end it. Oh my God!
Oh,
The dagger!
I'm trying to hype you up.
I couldn't believe it. These two
Can't
kept going
believe it.
back
Yeah,
and forth.
Speed is
I knew
crazy.
that at any
But I
moment,
didn't know
either
he
one
was
of them
good at
could win the
soccer.
$100,000.
Come on, bro.
This is Speed's opportunity to end it all. Get the dub.
Oh my God.
Congrats to this Speed fan for winning $100,000.
GG's, bro. GG's, bro.
This is the strongest man in the world. Later in this video, we're
I
gonna see
have
if
to
he can win a
backtrack.
total
What
war.
happened here?
This is Speed's opportunity to end it all. Get the dub.
That's crazy. Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy.
Congrats to this Speed fan for winning $100,000.
GG's, bro. GG's, bro.
This is the strongest man in the world. Later in this video, we're gonna see if he can win a tug-of-war against 100 kids. But first, to showcase how strong he is, he's seeing if he can pull this plane weighing over 50,000 pounds over 75 feet. This is who you guys will be going up against.
You got nothing on me!
Go! It's not budging! Wait, guys, look, it's moving!
This is so crazy!
He is literally pulling a plane! This is your opponent! Oh my gosh!
Oh my God.
Oh! He just pulled a plane! Do you think you can beat him in tug-of-war? We'll find out later in the video! For this next 1v1, we crashed a Savannah Bananas baseball game. Hey everybody! How you guys doing? Before I came out here, out of 40,000 people, I had them pick 2 random seats. So, we'll
Regan, he banned some stuff.
come on down. So here's what we're gonna be
Okay,
doing.
Obi.
Chandler, come on out. If Chandler gets on base, she will win $50,000.
Come on, hit the ball!
All right, that's the goal. But if the tailgaters get him out, or anyone in the stadium catches the ball, he will win $50,000.
מה אתה צריך עזרה, אבא?
I got you, man.
$50,000 at bat. In
Wait, I
front
need
of
to go,
40,000
guys.
people, Chandler.
Bye, guys.